lovelies. So today I'm going to be talking about my experience with recruitment. This is the first video in my new college series that I'm going to be putting out in the next few weeks. I've had a lot of people requesting that I do videos talking about my sorority experiences and my college experiences, roommates, moving in, what to bring, what not to bring, my classes, and how it was adjusting to being in college instead of high school. And I decided that I would do my recruitment experience video first because I know a lot of people have recruitment coming up in the next few weeks and I am so excited for you. I had an absolutely amazing recruitment experience. I really enjoyed the whole process. It was a little bit stressful, but more than anything, it was a lot of fun. The first night we had a little info session with a bunch of the Pan-Hellenic girls and they would tell us all about what was going to be happening that week. The way that my school does recruitment is we spread it out over 2 weekends. So the first Friday was that session, and then we had 2 open house days. One thing to know when you're going through sorority recruitment is that you're going to be asked a few questions, and you're going to be asked them a lot. You're going to be asked, where are you from? Why'd you choose your school? What's your major? Why'd you choose that major? I think the best tip that I can give anyone going through recruitment is to keep taking notes. When you're getting introduced to so many different people, it's hard to remember people's names or what their interests were. I really appreciated it when girls remembered the things that I had told them, so I wanted to make sure that I would remember what they said to me as well. So that's why I took notes, and it also helped me to make my decisions about when I had to drop a sorority from my list of ones that I was considering, because you don't remember all the negative things or all of the positive things or just things that didn't quite click when you're at the end of a really long day and you're sitting in a room surrounded by a bunch of other girls trying to figure out which sorority you didn't like. I ended up being between 2 sororities, and in the end I did end up in my first choice, which is Chi O. When you commit to a sorority or a fraternity, you're not just making a commitment for 4 years, it's for life. You have to make sure that you're making the right decision the first time around, which is why it's so crucial that you make sure you pay attention during recruitment. So Saturday and Sunday through open house, we went and met all the sororities and everything, and then at the end of the weekend we had to cut ourselves down to just a few, and we had to drop one, and the sororities decided who they didn't want to invite back or who they did want to invite back. And then there's a whole computer system that they use that figures out all of the specifications of who goes where at what time for which rounds for philanthropy. And we would watch either a little informational video or someone would speak, and we'd learn a lot about the organization's philanthropy. I love Chi O's philanthropy. Our national philanthropy is Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I love working with Make-A-Wish. At the end of philanthropy round, we once again had to go through and select which organizations we had clicked with the most and which ones we didn't click with as much, and they did the whole computerized thing again. And the next day we showed up for pref round. I already kind of knew that I had Chi O as my first choice, and it was already on my list because I ranked the sororities after every single day in regards to how I had felt there and how I felt like I would fit. Chi O was always on the top of my list, but I think that pref round was when I really knew I have to be a Chi O. Like, I need to be a Chi O. I knew at pref round that those were the girls I wanted to be connected with. When you're welcomed back with such friendly faces, people who remember your name, remember stuff about you that you told them in the 2 minutes that you met on a previous round, you feel special, you feel wanted, you feel important, and I was excited to see these girls, not just because they remembered me, but because I really genuinely liked them, and they are just some of the sweetest people I've ever met, and they are my sisters today, and I could not be happier. For pref round, we went around the last few sororities that we still had on our list, and they still had us on their lists, and we learned a little bit more about them, and it was just one of those days where it's a little bit more serious because it is one of those times when if you come back to pref round, it means that they can genuinely see you as being a part of their sorority. It's not just, oh hey, you're nice, let's just invite you back just cause. No, pref round is one of the most important. It's the last impression you get to make before bids are decided. And at the end of pref round, we ranked the sororities, and I know that there were a few girls who went suicide, which means that you only put one sorority down. So if you don't get a bid from that sorority, then you wouldn't get into a sorority at all. And the girls would then get a call from our Rogammas. Those were the girls who had disassociated for recruitment to help us out figuring where we belonged. The Rogammas would then call them the night before bid day or they'd call them the morning of. I'm not sure when it was exactly, but they wouldn't let the girls like come to bid day and then find out, oh, I don't have a bid. because that would just been horrible. So you were alerted ahead of time if you didn't get a bid, but I did not get a call from my Rogamma, and I didn't go suicide on my card at the end of the day. I'd never even considered it, because there were multiple organizations that I liked, and I knew that wherever I ended up, out of the choices that I had, I would be really happy. So I was terrified, though, that I was gonna get a call and my Rogamma was gonna be like, hey, so you don't get a bid, don't come tomorrow. I was terrified. I was so afraid that nobody was gonna want me and that I wasn't gonna end up in a sorority. And just, I had all these thoughts were going through my head, and I just had to shut those out, and I had to be like, no, this is fine, you're gonna end up where you're supposed to be. And that is one thing that you will hear throughout the entire process. You will end up where you're supposed to be. And if that's in a sorority, then that's wonderful. If it's not, then that's okay too. Some people don't click with sororities, or the sororities don't click with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody is different. That's why they say not to go into the process with a specific sorority in mind. And I definitely went into the process with a very open mind, and I think that's why I enjoyed my experience as much as I did. Bid day is insane. It's crazy, but it's so much fun. When bid day rolled around, which was the Sunday of the last weekend, we all met our Rogammas in one of the buildings on campus, and they handed out these little bid cards to us after all the Rogammas revealed which sororities they were in. I opened mine, and I was so excited to see that Kaio was on there, and I was ready to cry. I was super excited, and a huge portion of my rush group actually ended up going Kaio. So a bunch of the girls who are now my sisters were in my rush group. But after I opened my bid card, I was super excited. A few of my friends and I, who all got Kaio, we ended up rushing from this building on campus all the way to the quad, where all the fraternities were waiting on the edges and the sororities were waiting in little clumps with all of the signs with our names on them. I was one of the first girls to get to Kaio, and I was sprinting. I don't think I've ever run that fast in my life. But I certainly had a good reason to be running that quickly. So I ran, and I was immediately engulfed in these huge hugs. I also absolutely loved running into girls who I had met throughout the process, who had been in different rush groups, who I'd become friends with, and then finding out that they were in Kaio. It was really fun to see all of the fraternities there supporting the sororities, and they all had signs for the various sororities. Each fraternity had a bunch of signs for each sorority. And it was really cool to see the whole Greek community there together. I was exhausted by the end of the day. I came back to my dorm after bid day was over, and I believe that I changed into pajamas after taking a shower. I got out a packet of Twizzlers, and I laid on my bed and started to watch Gossip Girl on Netflix, and then I went to sleep. Yep. I loved recruitment. My recruitment experience was absolutely amazing, and I can only wish that everyone's is that fantastic. Go in with an open mind. I say this one more time. Go in with an open mind. Thank you guys so much for watching today. If you have any specific questions or ideas for things that you want me to talk about in my next few college series videos, please leave those comments below. Send me an email, send me a Tumblr message, tweet me. I'm on almost every single social media platform, so you can find me, send me a message, and I will try to get your question answered. I hope you all have an absolutely fabulous week, and if you're going through recruitment sometime soon, good luck. I'm so excited for you. I'm so jealous because recruitment was so much fun, and I'm super excited to be on the other side of it this year. So hopefully you all have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Have a great day, lovelies.